This video is going to start off a little differently. I spent 2 nights in Lawton, Oklahoma, just southwest of Oklahoma City. I did some things around Fort Sill, Geronimo's grave, then visited a cemetery that you're going to enjoy up to I-40, did some Route 66 things, and I wound up in Tucumcari, New Mexico at the Blue Swallow Motel. So please watch the video until the end. There's some very neat video of the neon at night on the Blue Swallow Motel. So this is one of the main things I came to Lawton to see. Atomic Annie, a 280 millimeter M65. It was designed to fire a 15 kiloton atomic artillery shell. It was tested in Nevada, fired at 6.2 miles away, where it detonated 525 feet above the ground. Total of 20 were made between 51 and 53. Most deployed to West Germany. Blah, 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 blah. And by the late 50s, they were no longer feasible because we had ballistic missiles. Anyway, this thing fired atomic artillery shell. So, well, I finally made it to one of the places I wanted to visit, but it's kind of touch and go there for a while. Had some issues lately. Yesterday, late afternoon, I started to enter my gas mileage information in my website, and my website was down. That's never happened. And then leaving there, my Garmin GPS flaked out for a while. Took a while to get it straightened out. And then last night when I was working with tech support, trying to figure out what's wrong with my website, I was distracted and I kicked my iPad under the bed. Woke up this morning, looked for my iPad, couldn't find it, thought it had been stolen because the card reader was not working very well, and they let me park my motorcycle inside in a closed area where the pool deck is. So it's not very far from the room, and the card reader was not working well, so I just left the door cracked and ran to my motorcycle to cover it up and get stuff, and I thought someone had come in and swiped my iPad last night. So this morning it's freezing cold, raining, winds blowing, and I try to get to the Geronimo's grave, and I kept getting closed gates, and then I finally got a gate. It's on a military base, Fort Sill. So I had to make a U-turn at the gate. They took my license and let me do a U-turn, and then gave me my license back. And then another guy told me I could go to their visitor center and get a pass. So I went there. I had to use my driver's license, feed it into a machine. It said it was going to do a background check, social security number, took my picture, I got a pass with a barcode, and I'm on the base. So I am here finally. So it's been, I don't know, an up and down couple of days, but a couple of interesting things I did not know. So this is a cemetery for Apache prisoners of war. When Geronimo in 1886 finally gave up, the people, the hostiles, friendlies, and scouts alike, they were all sent as prisoners of war to Florida and then Alabama. Then in 1894 they came back here, where they remained for 19 years, and then an act of Congress in 1913 freed them, and 183 returned to New Mexico, 82 settled on farms here. So I did not know that. So I'm going to walk around, but I guess all these headstones are for the Apaches. So this is the big guy himself right here, Geronimo. Oh, pennies all over the ground. People left pennies all around it. Wow, think about this for just a moment. I don't know who this guy is. It says author of I Fought with Geronimo, born in 1860, lived for 100 years. So he fought with Geronimo and lived long enough to see powered flight, modern automobile, atomic weapons. It's pretty interesting to me. So I thought I was in trouble a moment ago. I was over at the sign over my motorcycle over there, and a truck came up with 4 military guys in full uniform, well, camouflage uniform, and hopped out. I said, I hope I'm not in trouble. And they said, no, we're doing what you're doing. They were just out to see Geronimo's grave. I guess that's a thing you do when you're here at Fort Sill. Anyway, we had a nice long chat about my traveling, being retired and traveling cross country and not having a return to work date. And every time I tell that to someone, they've got to shake my hand. The guy this morning when I got my visitor's pass, he did the same thing. So anyway, they were very friendly. It's interesting to talk to them. Tar pit. Tar pits. Tar has been oozing from fissures here for ages past and was noted with interest by early explorers. Indians regarded it as medicine and used it to salve the sore backs of their horses. Anyway, and this is the main pit right here. Or maybe more, but I'm not going to walk around looking for them. So like an idiot, I just walked out here thinking that that black area was the tar. That was actually just water on the top. Here are my boot prints. I didn't realize I'm walking on the tar right here. And well, if it were warmer and I got stuck. But yep. Oh shoot. Interesting. Yeah, so everywhere where it's black is tar. So I better get out of here. Back up on solid ground. Very interesting. Good morning, Sylvia. Uh-oh, I think we've had an issue up here. I don't know if you can see it there, but car got squished. I guess I better go through the parking lot here. It's a little bit after 8 o'clock. Temperature's about 45 degrees. Perfect weather, perfect weather. It's sunny. And I'm heading a little northwest today. I'm probably going to hit a few Route 66 sites. My favorite ghost town of Glen Rio. And a couple of more interesting places, or I think interesting places along the way. And tonight, if all goes well, I'll be staying in the Blue Swallow Motel in Tucumcari. Anyone that knows anything about Route 66 knows that's a fairly famous motel on the route, and I should be there tonight. I like their guardrail along the road here. It will certainly stop you in a car. You're not going to slide along the rail though and come to an easy stop. It's going to be pretty abrupt. That was probably done by the WPA. There was a concrete marker at the top of the mountain with a WPA seal. I forget the date, but it's back in the 30s. So all of these rocks along the side for a guardrail, probably done back in the 30s, almost 100 years ago. Here's another interesting tidbit I just happened to run up on flying down the road. Ferguson House, built in 1927, raised hay, garden vegetables, had 10 kids, had a small gas station where they sold the produce. But the part that I like, the Ferguson House is significant as an example of cannonball architecture, a building style using local pink granite cobblestones. Cannonball architecture was used in only a few places across the nation where natural cobblestones were plentiful, but wood for construction was scarce. Anyway, interesting. So live that you wouldn't be ashamed to sell the family parrot to the town gossip. Say what you will about the devil, he's a hustler. Here I lie between two of the best women in the world, my wives. But I told my relatives to tilt me toward Tilly. Sacred to the memory of Jared Bates, died August 1876. His widow, age 24, lives at 7 Elm Street. Has money, every qualification of a good wife, and years to be comforted. Flim Stopes. On his deathbed, he was asked if he would like to denounce the devil. He replied, "Now is not the time to be making new enemies." Joe Jackson, great athlete. He played like a wife's divorce lawyer. He went after everything. Weep a bit for Easy Lot. He was lit, his lights were not. Here lies old Ben Evil beneath the sod, despised by men and hated by God. The people were glad, the Lord was willing, the devil was mad to receive such a villain. Maul loved Paul, Paul loved women. Maul caught Paul with one in swimming. Here lies Paul. Here lies John Yeast. Pardon me for not rising. I think you get now that this is not a real cemetery. And here's the explanation. Welcome to Comicos? Cemetery, just for the fun of it. It was established by a dentist in Wichita Falls, Texas. Just they had a sense of humor, and it was originally located at their home in Wichita, but he retired and stayed for a while in Iowa Park, Texas, and then he ultimately made the decision to bring the cemetery back to Granite, where all of the stones had originated. Anyway, it stands in their honor. Just a goofy, fun thing to experience. Anyway, I have no clue how I found out about this place, but I knew I had to come here and check it out. This is something I see a lot of out in the West, and I'm always curious, what happened? Did the guy just get tired of farming and say, screw it, I'm done? Or something broke and said, screw it, I'm just going to go buy me a new tractor? I don't know. I'm always curious about why there's a piece of machinery just parked in the field. But I'll never know. So not everyone enjoys these quirky little things, but I do. This is a section of abandoned Route 66. And one way we know that it's Route 66 is it's concrete and expansion joints. A good part of Route 66 was built with concrete, and it's obviously abandoned. And this is I-40 is just to my left, a mile or two. In some places I-40 just went right over top of Route 66, and then other places Route 66 was simply abandoned because I guess there's a better route for the freeway than the existing road. It's an absolutely gorgeous day today. I think it's warmed up into the maybe upper 50s. Deep blue sky, and you can see forever. That's what I love about traveling in the American West, is the clear air. I stopped at the Sandhills Curiosity Shop in Eric, Oklahoma, and Harley happened to be in. And he told me I could take all the photos I wanted, and I'm sure that included video, but I'm still too timid to stick a video camera in someone's face like a typical YouTuber. So I just turned it on and held it at my side and captured our conversation. I won't include the whole thing because it's kind of boring, but I've included enough that you can get an idea of what the old fellow is like. He was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed talking with him.
Well, what kind of work do we do, Bobby?
Well, I'm retired. I retired 6 months ago. I was a software
Really?
engineer.
At your age?
I'm 62.
You are? Well, you look beautiful.
Well, thank you, thank you. I've driven a keyboard my whole life, so I haven't had to work too hard physically.
Are you a keyboard player?
No, I'm a computer keyboard.
A computer keyboard. Okay.
I knew that if I could get down in elevation, it would get better quick, because the air temperature was 34, 35, but it was snowing so hard it was building up on the road. But I knew if I could just get dropped in elevation a little bit, that it would be fine. So I took a chance and headed straight south. I don't remember the highway now, and got back down to Santa Rosa and called it quits for the day. It was like 2
I know the
afternoon.
road you're talking about. It's pretty desolate itself.
Uh-huh.
But Las Vegas is a place where a lot of your outlaws would go to hide out.
Okay.
You'll like it. Oh yeah, you'll like it. Story Lake. I can't say nothing for it, Bobby. Nice visiting with you. Safe travels.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too.
Well, that was an interesting chat. Fine old fellow. Harley, I think his name was. Here's some kind of an old establishment. Once upon a time, I see some concrete, and obviously there's a sign right there. And when I rode up, there were some cows here by the fence just chilling. But I guess they don't want me to get too close. But they're all looking at me. Every one of them's looking at me. Here's another interesting, in the middle of nowhere tidbit. Before I tell you about it, let me spin around, and there it is. An open field. It's actually a World War II prisoner of war camp in McLean, Texas. It was began construction September 1942. First prisoners began to arrive in 1943. There were 25 to 30 buildings. There were fire departments, warehouses, engineering, water plants, barracks, officers' quarters, officers' club, commissary, theater, laundry, barbershop, small hospital. First group of prisoners brought here were members of the Africa Corps, commanded by General Erwin Rommel. By October 1944, the camp exceeded its official capacity of 3,000 prisoners. The community was closely involved with the camp. Many local citizens formed lasting friendships with some of the German prisoners. The camp closed in July 1945. Just imagine what those German prisoners went through. Wars are started by old men and fought by young men, often 18, 19, 20 years old. So imagine being a German kid, teenager, drafted, sent to Africa to begin with to fight, got captured, was shipped across the ocean. Then we got to this country, put on a train, no doubt, and then shipped by train to the middle of nowhere, Texas, and then stayed for years in a POW camp. They probably were grateful to be here, because I've read that many of them remained here in the country. That they saw how big the country was and the resources, and knew it was futile, and that Germany was never going to win the war. But I find that interesting. Blue Swallow. I probably should do that. Walking into Sony. So I don't have to cover up Sylvia tonight. She's got her own garage here at the Blue Swallow Motel. And I'm hoping later tonight, when the sun goes down, that I can get a neat photo or video of the neon sign. And the owner, well, the new owners, they've been here a couple of years. He was very enthusiastic about telling me all the history about the motel. And they live, and there's a little attachment on the back. And I think he said the previous owner lived there for 40 plus years. But yeah, most of the rooms had their own little garage. So this is my room. It's a little small, but it's roomy enough. This bedspread on the bed is crazy. You're not going to find that in a Days Inn or a Motel 6. That's pretty neat. And he took pains to tell me that the nightstand and the desk are original from, he told me, the furniture company back in the 30s or 40s. And the two lamps are original. He had a name for the style. I don't remember. They're from the 50s. And motel art. look at that. That is a, let me get closer. That looks like a pretty typical Western scene. Someone on a horse. And, oh yeah, there's lots of horses. So I don't know if it's an army or Indians. I'll have to look closer in a minute. Anyway, and then as a bonus, we have a flower. And he made sure that I knew that the bathroom is all original. I think the tile was from the 1930s. So anyway, tile floor, you see the shower there. That sink certainly looks like it's from the 1930s. And he said that the music goes off at 9 o'clock. So I get to listen to, I don't know what era, 50s, 40s, 60s. Anyway, the music will play until 9 o'clock and then I guess lights out. And one more thing, I kind of miss this, but I get a real key. Room number 4, Blue Swallow Motel. You don't get those anymore. Drop in any mailbox. We guarantee postage. How about that? Pretty neat. They say you found somebody new.